unintentionally. Right. What exactly did Tee Higgins do last night to Hamlin?
Well, right before the tackle, he lowers his helmet and he kind of throws his body into his chest. He's standing up because he's thinking he's got to chase Tee Higgins at an angle to make a tackle. So he didn't expect Tee Higgins to launch his body back into him. You know, it's one of those things. A lot of times you sit as a linebacker, unblocked, unengaged running back comes through the hole, and he knows that contact's coming, so he lowers his helmet, and you can't get underneath him. So he's able to get into you, and your chest is exposed. So they've taken that out of the game, but they don't really regulate it as much as possible. I expect the league will be a lot more vigilant when it comes to that and using that penalty.
Former NFL linebacker turned football commentator Bart Scott is receiving backlash for this analysis you just saw. It was uploaded and shared by Twitter user Dov Kleiman, who has a profile on Outkick for what it's worth.
I guarantee you, it's called red dot. And every Raven and forward Raven understand what the red dot means. You can be swagged out. You ain't no tough guys, but you will not get the benefit of the doubt. I guarantee you, he will not last long in this division. They gonna make sure they become headhunters. Whenever they go against him, he gonna get the rib shot, he gonna get the neck shot, he gonna get the tackle with his arms, make his head bounce off the ground shot. He getting all that because you want to add a little smoke on your face. Whatever Macaulay Culkin.
Still, many uploaded previous Bart Scott rants to support their claims, and that would lead to a domino effect, including Darrelle Revis, who played with Scott on the Jets, tweeting against his former comrade. Plus, there was more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I do want to say one more thing, and I haven't reached out to T. I hope that he got some relief today, and I don't know. I saw some stuff on Twitter, and people should not be attacking him whatsoever. And I'm glad that Damar's family came out and said that, and hopefully he found some relief today, because again, that's a football play, and I hope that he doesn't hold that upon himself, because again, there's nothing else that he could have done in that situation. So I just wanted to say that too.
Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen.
I don't know if you saw some of the comments made by Bart Scott, former outstanding player in the National Football League and now is a talking head on ESPN, and made some comment yesterday blaming Tee Higgins, saying he lowered his head into the chest of this guy. I mean, I just found out about it.
He ought to be fired.
Well, I mean,
he ought to be fired.
Where it's out there now. I mean, he's already said it. I know about saying something, and it's out there. And it's going to be out there forever. But to put Tee Higgins in that kind of situation, to say that, is just unfathomable.
Well, it's completely irresponsible is what it is. And I think it's a prime example of hiring people in the broadcast industry today who are not prepared to be in a position like Mark Scott is in, has no clue about how, what kind of deportment that you need to exhibit in times like everybody is dealing with right now. But to blame Tee Higgins for something like that is absolutely ridiculous.
Tom Brenneman and his father, Marty.
I'll be the first to say this. Bart Scott is a jackass. He's a guy that when we talk about people in the media, they can't separate their bias from being a true analyst in the media. And he's always had it out for the Cincinnati Bengals. And I did hear about the comments that he made about the Cincinnati Bengals and about how Tee Higgins intentionally did that. I just got to be honest with you. I think that I thought it was egregious.
Plus, host Malik Wright. And this man, likely number 2 in the clubhouse for NFL Defensive Player of the Year, Micah Parsons. Yo, are we serious? He would tweet. Why did we let some people speak on TV? This was a freak incident. But putting fault on another player is wild. They should make some of these guys go over lines or something, or not even give them a seat at the table.
The Tee Higgins, did he lower his helmet? What? Come on. And is that a rule in the NFL that needs to be addressed? These are all things that we could talk about down the road here, if this is it. But Tee Higgins did nothing wrong. Nothing.
In addition, Rich Eisen. Parsons would add this, does not even consider how Tee Higgins feels before airing some bull like that. That traumatic event he just went through, I swear, some of these TV guys have too much egos on these stages we give them. Awful announcing would write, Scott wasn't questioning Higgins' intent, but by saying he throws his body into Hamlin's chest, it certainly appeared as though the ESPN analyst was placing at least some blame on Higgins for what ended up being a near fatal collision. And after Higgins was clearly distraught by the collision that left Hamlin in critical condition, Bart Scott's accusatory spin on the routine football play was reckless. Kleiman would write, Bart Scott said that what Tee Higgins did was illegal and should have been penalized for lowering his helmet, blaming him for what happened. Higgins actually hit him with the shoulder. It was a normal football play. ESPN themselves even clarified it during the show. Bart, though, would respond as follows. In a world of overnight viral wannabes, people do anything to be seen. I had my time in the light. This is an example of a journalist I never heard of clout chasing. There's 2 more segments on the show where I blame no one. He'll never post that because it doesn't help his narrative. Responding to Parsons, Scott would write, it wasn't concise in my explanation, but this was from the 3rd segment. The first segment, I said exactly what you said. It was a freak incident and expressed my concern for Higgins and was very happy his mom was there. You know how this works. They use clips for attention. Stephen A. Smith would then try to quell the situation with his co-host, Bart Scott, to the masses.
Let me look into the camera and tell these folks in America to calm down as it pertained to Bart Scott yesterday. People are walking around acting like Bart Scott was in his explanation of the play that ended up injuring almost fatally Hamlin, that Bart Scott was alluding to Tee Higgins doing something like that on purpose. He did no such thing. That is not true. That is a lie. Okay? I specifically asked him to explain what transpired on the play, Doggy, because he was talking about how Tee Higgins got the ball and was running with it, and then at the last second, just created that kind of contact. It was a football play, and Hamlin tackled him. That's all that was going on. He was given an explanation. That's all he was. He wasn't blaming Tee Higgins in any way. He wasn't questioning his intent in any way. And for people out there to say otherwise is ludicrous. That is not what Bart Scott said on this show yesterday. That's an absolute lie.